Capricorn, welcome to your weekly tarot reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind, my friends, these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So have a look at your other placements to see what messages may be there for you. And also, if you're interested in a personal reading, I'm offering a promotion for the month of May, and you can find all the details in the description below. It's a good time to get a reading if you've been wanting one. Okay, my friends, let's get started. What is the current energy around Capricorn for the week ahead? Oh, look at that, 10 of Pentacles. Did you see that come out? Just sort of came out very naturally. So we're seeing a 10 of Pentacles. This is really an opportunity for you to feel secure and stable and grounded, and to really feel like the material world isn't a place of lack. Like, I feel like when I see the 10 of Pentacles, it confirms abundance as a mindset. It confirms prosperity as your perspective. And let's have a look and see what could be causing an obstacle on this 10 of Pentacles. What are the obstacles for Capricorn here? Okay, interesting. 7 of Pentacles is the obstacle. So you may be sort of sitting in this wonderful mindset of abundance, prosperity, stability, and security, and really feeling like you're building a legacy. You're creating your own pathway to that legacy. And you know, the obstacle is interesting because 7 of Pentacles is a time where we sort of ask ourselves if we want to do something different. Do we want to invest our time, energy, and resources in the same things that we've been investing in so far? Or are we interested in shifting into something else? As you can see, he's been planting seeds and has a crop on this side of the deck, or this side of the card. And then there's 2 seeds over here that he may be thinking about, well, should I switch into something else? So seeing this card as an obstacle, it tells me that you've got a choice to make. 7s are really about decisions and changes in directions and making decisions around those directional changes. So seeing that as an obstacle on the 10 of Pentacles tells me that there may be a choice that you're thinking about directionally, which way to go, how to invest yourself, your time, your energy, your resources, how you receive compensation for effort. And you may be thinking, I might change that pathway. Should I change that pathway? Should I explore something new? I feel like the 10 of Pentacles is really pointing out that you are building a legacy and that you are accumulating a lot of wealth and prosperity, and you're also very generous and thinking about how you can contribute to your community and serve others. And so it's interesting to see the 7 of Pentacles as the obstacle, because I feel like you might be expanding or shifting direction slightly to open up a new pathway. It's interesting. Bottom of the deck, my friends, is the 8 of Pentacles. So Capricorn's really focused on sort of bringing a balance between that spiritual and material, and finding sort of this grounding energy, this security and stability, almost creating an identity through becoming a master at something that you're working on. So you've been working on something for a while. I can see that in the 8 and in the 7, definitely in the 10, where you know you've been working on something and it's starting to show some results. You're starting to see that you're yielding plants, that you've planted seeds here and the plants are growing. And now that they're growing, you're thinking, should I diversify my crop? Should I start planting these things too? And how much attention and focus should I be giving everything? And you're developing your skills here as the 8. You can see he's made lots of coins and he's getting really good at it. And so are you. So this is really interesting. I love this reading for you so far, Capricorn. Let's see what's top of mind. What's on the conscious top of mind here for Capricorn as they are looking at this expansion, looking at making a directional choice. Okay, we're seeing the Three of Wands sort of coming out in the reverse. It was kind of sideways. So that makes me think that right now you're really dreaming big, or you need to be dreaming a little bigger, because it's interesting seeing it sort of sideways. I'm going to give you both messages of reversal and upright, where, you know, having that on top of your mind is like you're thinking about the future, and not in an anxious way, but in a way where you're like, I trust that this is going to provide for me, and I trust that this is my future, that whatever you're working on right now is what you're really investing your whole self into, and you made a choice at some point to really change your life, I think, Capricorn, and you're starting to really see that energy manifesting in front of you, and the results of your effort are showing up. And you're focused on them, you're embodying them now, and that's what's making them show up in your current reality here. It's really interesting. It's like you understand your ambitions, you're making continuous improvements, and you're working towards things in a direction that is expanding. And if you're sort of resonating with the card being in reverse, then these are the things that you need to be doing, right? That you're being guided to do, and to dream big. Don't let fear block your movement or cause delays here. So if you're sort of resonating more with the reversal, then try to really just keep going, right? Like, you've been doing so much work, and there are so many signs of progress in this reading. And these directional changes in the 7 that we're seeing here, where you're considering, should I keep going? Should I do this? Should I diversify? Should I expand? That all seems to be, it feels to me like less of an obstacle and more of sort of an expansion. But as I say that, I'm sort of getting this message in my mind that says, well, perhaps it is a slight obstacle in that it might be, you might be sort of hesitating with that 7 of Pentacles. You might be hesitating on the original plan and sort of maybe thinking, is it happening? Is it working? Maybe I should do this instead. And so if you've got that kind of energy, hold the course, right? Like, don't give up, right? And keep focusing on how things are going to work out, and how everything is going to have a result, and that your efforts will yield a result. Now I'm seeing the 3 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck in the reverse position, which tells me that you may need to involve other people in what you're doing. So that might be some food for thought for some of you. Take it only if it resonates, but you may need to expand your team from being just you to maybe including a few people that could help you, or could be of an assistance to you. Maybe you need to consult with some people to see what's their advice. If you know, you see someone doing something that you are doing, and they're further along the path, maybe they've been doing it longer, they may be a good source of consulting for you to see, you know, to consult with other people that are doing the same things, and to not see others as comparisons, right? Like, don't compare yourself, and don't see people as competition. So seeing this in the reverse sort of makes me think that you may need to be open to working with others in the future or right now. Let's see what's driving this reading. What is at the root of all of this? Okay, we've got a few cards coming out here. Okay, so we're seeing the Queen of Swords coming out here with the Ace. Oh, and there's the Chariot hiding. Okay, interesting. So there's a lot driving this reading. So the first thing is I feel like you know yourself, Capricorn. You're sort of really operating in a way that says, I have to trust myself and do what feels like what's my truth, you know? Like, I really think you're tapping into that in a strong way, and you're sitting in a space that's very authentic. And here's that message coming through again about not comparing yourself to others, and not seeing other people as your competition, because that might lead you to be like, I'm either better than or less than others, and that both are an illusion. So seeing the Queen of Swords with this 5 of Wands makes me think that the message is keep your eyes on your lane. Like, don't worry about who's doing what. If you see someone doing something and it inspires you and you want to sort of understand more about what they're doing, that is sort of the highest way to engage with others, as opposed to seeing people as competition and starting to compare yourself and saying they're better than me, so I'm just going to stop, or I'm better than them, and then developing a bit of an ego about your work, as opposed to just staying on track. And I say that because of this Chariot, which makes me feel like, keep your eyes on your path. Don't worry about what other people are doing, unless it's inspiring you to do something that expands your own work, you know? And so it's interesting what we do sometimes when we see people doing similar things or the same things that we're doing. And they may have a different approach. They may be gaining success in a way that we're curious about. And sometimes it can take us down a road that's helpful, and sometimes it can take us down a road that's not so helpful. So, you know, try and keep that in mind when you see this Five of Wands. It's sort of a message for you to work with that energy in a way that's positive and that moves you forward, as opposed to making you feel stuck and giving up, right? So this Ace of Pentacles coming through here says that you sort of have been given this opportunity, I think, because you know, ask and you shall receive. Like, I think at some point, we're going to check the past energy right now, but it feels like at some point you decided you were going to change things in your life, and you were going to change how you received sort of compensation for effort, or what you do for stability and security in the material world. It feels really like work related, like something that you do. And it might not be your main source of income, but for some of you, I feel like it is. And it seems to me like this is driving this whole reading, because at some point you said, I'm going to do something different, something that resonates with my truth, with that Queen of Swords. And yes, are there other people doing it? Yes. And are other people doing it very well? Absolutely. And so it's interesting. It's like seeing these messages saying, keep going on this direction. Don't worry about comparing yourself to other people. Be inspired by them, and let that be evidence that what you're doing can be very successful, is the message I'm getting here for you. And it seems like it's driving all of this Ten of Pentacles, this Three of Wands, and even this Seven of Pentacles, where you're sort of maybe thinking about either expanding or opening up a new way of doing something, right? Very interesting. Okay, let's have a look here and see what are the past influences on this situation for Capricorn. Okay, we're seeing the Seven of Cups coming through with the Death card and the King of Swords. So interesting, got the Queen and the King of Swords. So this was obviously something that you have put a lot of thought into. You've been putting a lot of thought into this even in the past, before, you know, this all got moving. I think it originated in the past, where you had a transformative moment here when we see that Death card. So you changed something really significant, transformed for you in the past, and it showed you that you have a lot of options to do something that really resonates with you. And I think that, see, another seven, so you had an emotional decision to make in the past about, I think, transforming and leaving something behind that no longer was working for you. Emotionally, I think you were feeling really dissatisfied with something, and so you must have shifted gears in the past, which led to all of this moving in the present. And seeing the King of Swords tells me that you know, you're very intellectual, you're very wise, and you considered all of the different perspectives when you sort of were evaluating all these options. You really had to look at every single one, and then you chose the one that I think brought the most transformation to your life, Capricorn. And so the past influences certainly reveal to us that, you know, you went through a significant shift, you know, a rebirth, an awakening, a transformational moment where you decided to shift how you do things and what you do. More importantly, what you were doing shifted, and you explored all of these options both emotionally and intellectually, and you came out with an idea that, you know, you see here really resonates with your own truth, your authenticity. Seeing the star on the bottom of the deck, which tells me that this transformation sort of took you to a very beginning level place. Like you were really starting from the beginning. And I'm sort of curious how much time has passed for you, Capricorn, between this past moment and the current moment. It'll be different for everyone, but I wonder, because it makes me feel like you've sort of risen from this, and you're at a place now where things are not at the beginning anymore. You're definitely at a place where you're starting to see the results of your effort, and it's all starting to show up for you. Love seeing the star on the bottom of the deck tells me that whatever you're doing, you could reach some sort of level of notoriety for this. Like whatever you're doing, it is putting you in that public eye, and I think you're being recognized and acknowledged for the new work that you're doing, and it's certainly bringing in a lot of success in the material world when it comes to wealth, abundance, prosperity, stability, and expansion. Very lovely energy here. Let's see what's coming up in the future energy. Future influences here for Capricorn. We're seeing the Ace of Cups. It's coming through in the reverse, which tells me that you may need to really focus on accepting yourself and where you're at in this journey, and accepting and loving yourself unconditionally no matter what happens. There's going to be ups and downs. There's always ups and downs in everything, it seems, because all those ups and all those downs teach us something, right? And so seeing that Ace of Cups in reverse just says that it might be time to nurture yourself in a way that allows you to, you know, sometimes step back from your work for a bit. You might be really working a lot, and it feels like, you know, it might be time to sort of give yourself some of the energy that you're giving this work, and to really step into a place of unconditional love and acceptance, so that you don't find yourself feeling less than or greater than anyone else. You're not even comparing yourself to anyone else when you're giving yourself that whole and complete unconditional love. Interesting. Star card remains on the bottom of the deck. So this could be a very healing period for you moving forward, where you really need to focus on yourself for a bit and giving yourself that love and acceptance that you would give others. It feels like whatever you do, it does impact other people. So you do serve people in some way from what I'm seeing here. And it feels like now it's time to offer yourself some of that. Okay, let's see. How does Capricorn see themselves right now? Oh, look at that. 10 of Cups. You couldn't be happier, right? Like, I think what you're doing is very emotionally fulfilling for you, Capricorn. You love what you do. You love what you do. And, you know, very plain and simple, it's very fulfilling for you to do what you love. And it makes me think that maybe something that you did in the past didn't let you feel that way, like that you didn't feel fulfilled. And maybe in the past you were in a position where you did stuff because you felt obligated. It wasn't necessarily very fulfilling. And now it's like you're choosing, even in those ups and downs, you're choosing to sort of be in harmony with what makes you feel fulfilled. And it's really expanding. I feel like there's a lot of connections that could be expanding as well for you, because it feels like your energy is very attractive right now. And that you're, you know, without saying something cliched, it feels like you're living the life of your dreams. To be honest, Capricorn, that's sort of what I'm seeing. And it's interesting because of that Ace of Cups that's in the future energy here in reverse. I really think that the more you nurture yourself and the more you allow your emotions to come to the surface, where you're not sort of pushing them down, there is so much potential for you to really expand this harmony and balance and alignment in your life, to create new connections. And it makes me think that everything is happening in divine timing. Temperance on the bottom of the deck, which is Sagittarius energy. If you have placements in Sagittarius, you should watch that reading, because that reading was also very expansive in terms of bringing in a lot of fulfillment. Okay, let's see. How does Capricorn appear outwardly to others at this time? Oh, wow. Knight of Cups. So other people see you as a dreamer. Other people see you as pursuing your dreams. Other people see you as moving to the beat of your heart and trusting yourself and moving towards things that, some people may be like, wow, Capricorn's really chasing their dreams, and it's happening. It's happening for them. And that might be why we kept seeing the Star card, because people might be very interested in knowing how you created this forward movement based on what's fulfilling to you, and it's interesting because the Knights are all about movement. And I really feel like we're seeing that Knight of Cups as a signal to you that, other people are recognizing that you're sort of a very passionate soul, and you're very artistic and creative, and you wear your heart on your sleeve, and there's so much beautiful emotional expression when it comes to you, Capricorn. And this is a really beautiful, sort of graceful movement in this night. It really feels to me like you're sort of almost like people see you as sweeping yourself off your feet. You're the knight that came in to save your own day. You know what I mean? Like that expression of a knight in shining armor coming in to save the day. You're your own knight in shining armor. You did this, and other people see that. They recognize that you did this. You changed your life. You made choices that are not only making you feel really, really fulfilled, but they're also bringing in stability, security, wealth, and abundance, prosperity, connections, and you're just expanding in such a genuine and authentic way, and it's creating so much movement with that Chariot. I love it. This is such a nice reading for you, Capricorn. It feels like we've been building towards this for some time, in your readings. Let's see here. What are the hopes and fears surrounding Capricorn when it comes to this? Ooh. Let's see. That was a whole chunk of cards. Okay, let's reshuffle, because that was almost half my deck. Let's see here. Okay, what are the hopes and fears when it comes to this for Capricorn? Okay, we're seeing the Hierophant. Let me clarify that with one more card, please. Oh, that's too many. Okay, interesting. That's some of the cards that came out. Let's take them. Okay, so the hopes and fears, we're seeing another 10. So you're really moving, Capricorn. Like you've got all of these completions, like I really feel like you're expanding here in a way that you might not even see coming necessarily. It's very interesting. So the first card that came out was the Hierophant. And so that tells me that, you're starting to understand sort of the keys here, the true keys to your life path and your inner strength, and that sort of divine connection is giving you a lot of information right now that you're utilizing in a way to really close the door on things that I think that you had a lot of fear around, or, there may have been some sudden sort of painful endings from the past that you're sort of now seeing how those moments taught you your inner strength. It almost feels like the combination of those three cards, the Hierophant, the Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Strength card, it's like you're incorporating all of these life lessons that at one point you may have sort of had a more victim mentality around, but now you're like, okay, I understand why that had to happen now, because if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be right where I am right now. You know what I mean? Like everything that happened up until now has led to this moment. The painful things, the things that have sort of taught me sort of some life lessons, and the things that have shown me that I have all of this inner strength. So like sometimes these obstacles that we face in the moment, they can feel really painful, and they can sort of put us in the position where we have to reevaluate some things, right? And I almost feel like that reevaluation process has taught you so much about how strong you are when I see these cards, and that you see the truth about yourself with that Hierophant. And I feel like, any sort of traditional or conventional path towards the divine that you may have sort of had some some doubts around, or, you know, you may have questioned at some point. I feel like all of that makes sense to you now. Like you're really integrating so much. And when it comes to this being placed in your hopes and fears, it feels like you're really hopeful and sort of putting your intention behind the fact that anything that comes up in your path that may feel like an obstacle or may challenge you in some way is teaching you something about yourself and how strong you are. And I think that your hopes and fears are tied up in your inner strength right now, and in the idea of tapping in and out of things that are very spiritual with that Hierophant. And it almost feels like the Hierophant is showing up right now to remind you that you yourself are enlightening right now, and you are awakening, and you are sort of your own teacher right now. Life is a teacher to you right now, and it's teaching you your inner strength. And we see the Page of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, which is sort of this message to continue planting seeds and to continue to develop yourself in this direction that you've taken, because it's you being authentic and expressing your truth in so many ways here. Now let's see what the potential outcome of this for Capricorn. Where's the potential outcome for Capricorn here? I have a card in my mind that I keep seeing. I wonder if it'll come out. Look at that. It's you've gotten all the 10s, okay? You have the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. So Capricorn, you are collecting your harvest, okay? You are collecting your harvest. Are you tired? Yeah. You know, have you been working hard? Absolutely. You have put in so much energy to grow these wands, and now you're collecting your harvest. And I think that's why we see the Ace of Cups in reverse here, because now it's time for you to nurture yourself a bit. You've been working so hard. Seeing the 10 of Wands as the outcome, to me, couldn't be a better card. It wasn't the one I had in my mind, but I was sort of imagining the Sun card, actually. I wonder if it's on the bottom of the deck. No, okay. But this really feels like you're collecting your harvest. This is you collecting your wands, your coins, your cups. You're putting all of these painful moments into perspective and seeing all the lessons about how much inner strength you have, how resilient you are, how strong you are, and that you've created this whole narrative here, this whole timeline. I love seeing the 10 of Wands as your outcome, because it's a time where you collect your harvest. You're collecting, you're yielding all of these results. Like you're coming into a place where I think you're about to expand in a new direction that's very related to the direction you're on, but it's like you're going into the next level here, and to keep going. You know, the 10 of Wands is a message to keep going. You have taken on a lot, and you find yourself in a place where you're very close to this huge successful outcome, which is the 10 of Wands, where you collect all of your wands and you bring them home and you have a good rest, and then you keep going. You know what I mean? Like, this reading has been so inspiring, and it makes me feel like you're on the path that serves your highest good right now. Seeing the Hanged Man on the bottom of the deck, which confirms to me that you're sort of looking at things from a different perspective, and you're totally trusting, and you know, you've surrendered to the will of the path that you're on. Ups, downs, obstacles, success, you're in for all of it, Capricorn, and it feels like it's all teaching you something and bringing in a lot of success and a lot of outcomes that are so fulfilling and grounding and stable, and like, you created all of this. You planted the seeds, and now you're collecting the wands that have bloomed. I love this reading for you, Capricorn. It's been so inspiring. Now, let's just close this reading for Capricorn with an oracle card to see what's the highest guidance. Oh my goodness, look at the cards that flew out here. We see the Soulmates card and Happy. I mean, really, Capricorn, that's incredible. Like, I really think that this is you sitting on the egg that you manifested and created through your efforts and your intentions and so much hard work. And it's brought in so much happiness and fulfillment. And I mean, like, look at how happy you are in this card. I love that. And then it came out with soulmates. I mean, so that tells me that, it doesn't have to be romantic, but that you're making connections that really, really resonate with you and that are in alignment with you. Bottom of the deck is milk and honey. Like, I'm about to jump out of my skin here reading this reading. So Capricorn, keep going, because you are on a path that is taking you into fulfillment, abundance, happiness, connections that are in alignment. You see the rainbow in both of these cards, and it's sort of like you're getting everything you could have ever desired. This is truly opportunities born from being authentic, trusting that everything you require will be there, and that you're really sort of getting everything you could have imagined here. And it's so wonderful to see, because I really feel like your readings, the ones I have had anyway for Capricorn on my channel, have been leading to this. And I feel like you're at the point, if you were climbing a mountain, where you're about to be standing on the top of the mountain. All your hard work has brought you to that place. Wow. Capricorn, I'm going to leave it at that. I love this reading, and I love you, and thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. Take care, and I'm sending you so much love. And congratulations, actually, because this is incredible. Keep going.